How you doing, guys? So I'm going to give you two exercises that are going to significantly boost your conversation skills. This is especially important for those guys who get sort of feedback that they're too boring on dates, they're too boring to talk to, they're not interesting to talk to, they're struggling to get a girl interested in a conversation with them. So it's a very, very simple exercise you need to do. Firstly, all you need to do is get a book. Any book that works for you. I'm traveling, so the only book I have is this very thin one called Tao Te Ching. And I'm just going to read it to you and give you an example of what you're supposed to do. So you can read a book in a very sort of bland way, right? For example, when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and not being create each other. So, kind of just flat, nothing too crazy. Now, you can experiment now with reading the same text, but all you need to do is try to make it sound as interesting as possible. So add emotion to it, add different types of volume to it, and just play with it, have fun with it, make it interesting, experiment. You don't know how something's gonna sound until you do it, right? So you're almost being like a musician here. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and not being create each other. It's not necessarily we're doing like poetry or poetic reading, Or when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. You can add different types of emotion to it. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. And this is not the way you're supposed to be talking to people normally, right? This is kind of theatrical and artistic. But what that does is expands your comfortable range. And so that when you're in full comfort in your home, you're in a comfortable situation, you're gonna practice. You have to go like as far as your comfort zone, because when you're in a social situation, because of the stress and anxiety and other uncomfortable things, just the fact that you can't focus on everything, your capacity reduces. And so if you're able to be completely, full range of emotion, like you go from very quiet, when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. If you can do things like that at home, then in a normal conversation, all you're gonna need to do is, something like, hey, you know what? You look very interesting. I love, this and that, right? So, again, this is just helping you to develop that vocal quality and also body language. If you can, be emotional with it and actually move as well, this is just gonna help you. Now, pick a book that you like. There may be some things that are better to read for those things, but all I have is this book. You kind of want to read with the Chinese accent. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. You kind of want to read it with like an Asian Chinese accent, right? But there's just variations to it, and you can play different accents as well. You can do Italian. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. I don't know, Indian. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. Or with posh. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. I don't know, Southern US. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. Maybe that was crap, but it doesn't matter because I'm playing around with it, and then the communication skills are not becoming a limiter when I'm out with girls and dates. They instantly get attracted to the subcommunication and the body language, and then it's just up to the content to kind of see if we match, right? And so this is one of the exercises you do, and the reason I tell you to select a book is because you have a text that's already there, so you don't need to think what to say, you just need to think how to say it, and so you can play with different ways of doing it. And then second exercise is you do the same thing, but you actually practice talking at camera and making it sound interesting. Using your body, involving your body, like how I'm talking now. This is a free flow video. There's no script. There's nothing here. There's no people holding any papers for me. So this is a free flow, right? I know what I'm gonna say in general, but this is a free flow, and I can talk about other things. And for you to start, you can take a very simple, like a, 10 second video or 15-second video, and you just start like that. Hi guys, I'm here on New Year's Day, and you know what I want to talk about is New Year's resolutions and how kind of they're pointless because we all just end up over promising and then under delivering. Why not just make a New Year's resolution every day and just resolve to live your life always to your most excitement? Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be like the most incredible thing that's available to you? Wouldn't that be just fucking awesome? Come on. I know you can do it. So see the variations of energy I can do it here. I can do quiet, peaceful, high energy, right? It's all available to me while coming up with things to say. So I don't even need a book. But the reason I'm telling you to have a text initially, so you just start expanding that potential, and then you can combine that with what to say and how to say it. And then once that is in sync, energy just flows like magic. And then you really start understanding how the words are not so important. They're just a carrier for the energy. They're just the means of transport. And people don't really care whether you deliver the goods by plane or by boat or by car or by a scooter or by a bicycle. They just want to get what they want. And women just love it when men give them their energy. Give them their energy, project that masculine energy at them. And there just needs to be some sort of carrier. So if you have no words in your mind, then there's no carrier. You get stuck, energy gets stuck. So you have to come up with things to say that are reasonable and not, completely batshit crazy. All right? Not talking about murdering, little dogs, or I don't know, kidnapping grannies, or I don't know, starting wars. It has to be reasonable. Like, hey, what music do you like? Oh, I like that singer, that author. I like that book. I like to travel to this place. I like to eat that food, kind of thing, right? So it has to be within that reasonable range. But on camera, you can practice anything. And you'll be like, well, why do I need to practice on camera how to get better with girls? Well, if you're not good with girls, you have to get better, and you need practice for it, because you're not just going to get better by doing nothing. Now, the best practice of having better success with women is by being with women, going on dates. But there might be times where you're not going to get any dates. There might be times where you're going to go weeks and months without dates. And all that time, you're not practicing. The moment you get a date, it's probably going to be short, or they're not going to be a second one because you haven't practiced before. So you're going to have to use the dates as a practicing opportunity, which unfortunately is going to slow down your progress, because if you're actually able to practice at home, and you're going to get, this is going to get you like 85% good. You still need to learn how to be with the person and talk to the person, but at least you can talk, at least you can sound interesting, at least you have a good vocal tonality and body language and everything. And then you just need to learn how to be with the other person, instead of learning how to be with the other person and learning how to be interesting and how to talk and how to make it sound interesting and coming up with things to say. All of these things, you're going to get covered. So you only gonna need to get better at one of them, because everything else is gonna get great, because you're gonna be like a good public speaker, right? A good speaker. And so this is why it's very important. It's a cheat code, modern age cameras, absolute cheat code. You can get 85% good, and then just brush up little differences and learning how to feel the other person and everything. But at least you're gonna be able to get a date, get a second date, get a third date, be interesting enough for her to want to stay longer with you, to want to meet you another time, to give you another opportunity to, have her like you. And that's going to snowball into a massive thing. So these exercises are very important. If you do them well, you're going to grow a lot. You're going to grow quite a lot from it. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to put some example with other people that I'm coaching. So maybe there's going to be a clearer guide for some of you if you don't know if you don't know how to do it at your level. But start with short bursts at least, and that's gonna start building up that momentum. Even 5 to 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds. You keep building it up. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you can talk for 10 minutes non-stop with high energy, you really have achieved a good level of communication, right? Because when you're talking to other people, you don't always talk. You talk and listen. And with some women, you might have to just listen all the time and say a couple right words. But the moment you do say it, you have to sound good. Your voice has to sound good, masculine, sexy, projected, loud, everything else. So use that and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.